Welcome to Beyond the Summit, Building Trust That Lasts webinar by Manychat community. We are so happy to have you here. This is one of our new webinars. So we want you to continue the momentum from the summit and share something with all of you that we took. And specifically, one of the key takeaways from the summit is, for me, like we talked about a lot of like interactions, DMs, how like opportunities makes us like connect, build, and deepen trust. Yet a lot of the times we had the like feedback, how can I make most of my connections? Because most connections we might make are actually missed by different scenarios and by you, like I presume most creators here. One of the sessions by Monty Lance like stuck with me. He opened his session saying, it's one thing people hitting the follow button. It's another thing to have people actively engaged. I think we can all relate to this. We all have our own like people we follow and the other way around. He describes community as the essential currency and credibility with trust as a key component of building it. With this webinar as an example, we also want to build this in the Manychat community with you. So we are taking a step forward, we hope. Here we have two speakers today to share how every interaction, big or small, has the potential to move your journey forward. So without further ado, I introduce you to them. We have Mike Yan, co-founder and CEO of Manychat, and Gannon Meyer, automation strategist and content creator. Welcome. Gannon creates educational content that breaks down complex automation strategies into digestible, actionable insights for creators and brands. We will see some insights from there, hopefully. And so how can we help tell your story, build your community, and connect with your audience? Without taking much of your time, I'll hand it over to Mike.
All right, let me share my screen. And let's go. All right, folks, let me know if the screen is seen and if it's
All good,
changing. So,
Mike.
all right, all right. I'm gonna also open up the chat on the side so that I can get distracted by all the messages. All right, folks, great to be here. Great to see so many folks uh, in the chat. Let me know where everybody's coming from. I know that we always kind of have an international audience, so feel free to drop in your city and country and represent. All right, let me quickly talk about how to seize every moment to make a connection and to grow the strength of the relationships, but also your conversion rates. We have a really, really kind of populated market. There is over 100 million creators around the world, and the market is growing really, really fast, about 15 to 20%. That means that around 15 to 20 net new 50 to 20 million net new creators are joining. In this such a crowded market, how do you stand out? And how can you grow your creator business? That's a huge question that all of us need to answer. And what I'm here to share is a kind of excerpt of the IG Summit keynote presentation. So those of you who have been on the IG Summit, you've seen these slides, but repetition is always great for remembering the key things. And those of you who haven't seen the IG Summit, I highly recommend you to kind of watch the replay. But also, this is going to be some good stuff. So one of the key things we have to understand is that the number of followers is not really what makes you influential and successful. If we imagine that this is the total follower base, what really makes kind of an influence is the amount of people who truly kind of trust you. It's not even kind of the engagement rate. You can have a lot of followers, you can have a lot of people watching your content or even engaging with it. But if those people do not see you as an expert and do not kind of trust you, then you're going to have limited influence over them. So compare this kind of creator who has a lot of followers but limited amount of people who trust kind of their judgment with somebody who, let's say, has less followers but a bigger proportion of people who engage and who trust them. Then this score is going to be the ability to influence and create action in the follower base. And the question becomes, how do you actually grow this core? How do you actually increase the influence and increase the number of people who engage and trust? And overall, if you had to chart this pathway, it's about going from a passive viewer of content to making them an engaged follower and then making them a raving fan, right? So passive viewer, engaged follower, raving fan. And this is where we need to talk about the engagement iceberg, because right now a lot of you are using Manychat to kind of automate the organic campaigns where you say something along the lines of comment this keyword to get this, and maybe there is an interactive conversation afterwards. But there is also organic comments that are not CTAs, that are not kind of call to actions, people who are just commenting on your posts. There is people who are just starting to follow you. There's people who share your content. There's people who reply to your stories and people who just DM you. And we power over 1 million Instagram accounts. We're the biggest Instagram engagement platform, and we see billions of conversations. And what we've learned is that 70% of inbound audience interactions are not being responded to. Think about that. 70% of the time, somebody follows you, shares your content, DMs you, or comments on your post. They're not getting anything in return. It's just it's just silence. And every time somebody takes that action, they're actually saying something. They're actually kind of voting with their actions to create a connection, to deepen that connection with you. So how do we solve this? How do we go from 70% to a hypothetical 0% where everything is being responded to? Well, the reason that this matters is the 3C formula. We talk about going from content to going to conversation to going to conversion. And if you're not responding to people who are creating those inbound interactions, no conversations are happening. And if there's no conversations happening, no conversions are happening, right? So this is why this is so important, going from 70% of unanswered DMs, comments, and everything else to trying to drive that down to zero and taking every opportunity to engage with your follower base. Because if you do have kind of conversations, then you will have the conversions. And this actually maps really nicely to kind of the view of passive viewer, engaged follower, and a raving fan. So this is why we talk about, like, there's a saying, carpe diem, seize the day. And the way we think about this is carpe diem, which is seize every opportunity to engage and build trust and convert. So let's talk about a few things that we've launched this year, which will allow you to handle all of the incoming conversations, DMs, and actually respond meaningfully and drive those conversion rates. So one of the big things that I wanted to point out, which is having a huge effect right now, and people are just loving it, which is the follow to DM. It works really simply. When somebody follows your content, when somebody follows your account, when they discover your content, they will automatically get a welcome message from you. It's a very, very simple concept, but it wasn't possible before the right APIs were open, and now it is possible. And we're super, super happy to will be the first platform to release this. Now, the way you set it up is we have a template. Now we actually have a quick automation. So all of this right now became much, much easier. You don't even need to use the flow builders. I know that some of you guys are kind of not super comfortable with doing the flow builder because you need to go in and set up all the connections right. But the concept is really, really simple. When somebody follows your account, you set up a trigger, and then you set up the message that they're going to get after they follow you. Here, for example, when somebody follows, we offer them a 70% discount on their new course. And you can change the message, you can change the buttons, and then you can actually have a follow-up kind of conversation with them with a discount code. So all of this is how you set up in the flow builder. But I'm really happy to say that just I think about 2 weeks ago, we released a quick automation, which is when you kind of just set up a few settings and you can see the preview on the phone. So this is even simpler now. How can you use kind of follow to DM? Well, you can literally kind of just ask them a question, right? Like here, for example, we're saying, "Hey, thanks for the follow. Thanks for following. Quick question: what kind of nutrition tips would you like to see more of?" Right? And eating on a budget, quick and easy recipes, boosting energy, and you basically get to know your followers, and you can even record their answers for future reference. So this is one of the easiest ways to get more information, but also to create more engagement. Because when people engage with the messages, with the DMs, the closeness between your account and their account grows. So now they're going to see more of your content in the feed, more of your stories in their story kind of views. So this is always great. Um, Next example is actually using it to ask them to qualify them and to then provide them with a free resource that matches their goals. So, for example, here, the question is kind of what's your number one goal for the next 3 months? And one of the things is like learning the basics or like growing your business, right? And the two outcomes here is one of them is sharing your ebook, and the other one is booking a call with this new follower. So here we have kind of this kind of choose your own adventure type of situation. Again, very, very simple. I'm sure Gannon is going to share kind of much more advanced things. But what I want to say is that this is very simple. You don't have to be a kind of, you don't have to have a lot of technical ability to know this. You don't have to code. All of this is super simple. And you need to just figure out a creative way to grow, to use this new opportunity of the engagement during the follow to grow that. All right, let's quickly move on to the next update that I wanted to. Oh, actually, uh, we this is the big thing that we wanted to share. There's a few more things that we announced, but it's just that we're right now 18 minutes kind of into the whole thing, and we need to make sure that Gannon has the time to also present more advanced use cases. The only other thing that I would love for you guys to check out is the AI features that we've launched recently, which allow you to respond to any inbound DM by sharing knowledge with Manychat about your business, about your offers, and then Manychat can take on the things that it feels confident in, and you're going to see a lot more kind of releases in that direction. So feel free to play around with all the new AI features as well. But if you haven't set up follow to DM, you should. This should be the first thing that you do. All right, I'm going to stop sharing right now. We are going to go into the Q&A.
Yes, thank you. And for everyone, Mike's full speech from the summit will be available on Manychat YouTube. So feel free to watch after this webinar and learn more about all the product updates that we announced during the summit in depth. So let's take some questions. I was noting down a few. To start with, what advice would you give to creators who feel um, algorithm fatigue, those who want to grow but don't want to compromise their authenticity?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say the automations we're talking about are all about actually enabling authenticity. So technology is not about removing it; it's actually about creating more leverage for creators. Think about the printing press, right? You used to be telling stories to each other orally, and that was the way to deliver it. once you had a printing press, you were able to write down stories while preserving the voice of the author, but then spread it across millions of people. This is the same thing. You're writing your own automations. This is your voice. This is you replying at scale. Same thing with AI. You're providing the knowledge. You're providing the tone of voice. All of these new things are about enhancing the connections instead of just people experiencing silence. So I think it's a very, very important question. But as long as you don't sound like a robot, as long as you don't write like really long messages without that are not in your own tone of voice, um, what we've seen is people actually appreciate getting back the things that they want. So, for example, if somebody asks you for, let's say, like an ebook or a certain resource, instead of not replying to them or replying, let's say, 2 days later when you had the time to actually manually process it, if they get that kind of feedback right away, they're actually super, super excited about this. I think we're really worried about automation. Before ChatGPT, everybody was thinking, oh, this is like an IVR, this is a bad experience for the customers. The reason we hate IVRs is not because it's automated, it's because they're stupid. It's because they're not doing the thing that we want. I think ChatGPT really it was a watershed moment for the whole industry, understanding that actually when you do get what you want, you're actually super, super excited to be having an experience where you kind of are getting this. So it's all about curating the right automations, the right tone of voice, and the right knowledge. And in that respect, I feel like it's this is what we're trying. Like this is the vision that we're going after. We want to um, enhance the connection. And this is why, for example, at Manychat, it's not only about automation. We do have a live chat, like an in-the-box experience built into the product. We believe in a mix between automation and kind of human touch. And what we're striving to do is to reduce all the high volume, low stakes conversations so that the creators can focus more either on creating more engaging, more entertaining, more educational content, or on having the deep conversations that are actually driving meaningful impact instead of wasting their time sending their link 100 times and copy and pasting it, etc. If that makes sense.
I see Gannon shaking his head a couple of times there. I don't know if the chat agrees, but if you agree, let us know in the chat. Getting another question. We usually use DMs to build trust with our audience or our community. Do you think automation can also break it? Maybe a little like follow up
Yes.
what you
Yes.
started.
If you use it, if either if you overuse it or if you use it in a way that's not authentic, that's like always trying to extract value instead of providing value. I think you can definitely do that. But also, I think that even manually having conversations, you can break trust if you say the wrong thing. So again, I don't think it's about automation versus manual. I think what is about how you're using it. So, and I'm sure kind of Gannon is going to cover kind of all the some of the details of how you can do that. But yeah, I feel like I kind of the big answer was the first portion that I already did.
Mhm. Thank you. I know, like, I have a quote actually about this coming, so maybe it will tie in really well from a very well-known person as well. So, I know we're like about to end your like Q&A. Maybe last thing to end with, if you could leave like everyone here with one thought or like action from Instagram Summit for by Manychat to carry forward to next year, what would it be?
I would say we're entering a really exciting period in the creator economy, where creators are becoming actual businesses. And this is why, kind of, this is where the creative side meets kind of the business side. And in order to stand out, I feel like every creator needs to start to kind of think from both sides. The creative side, how to create the best content, how do I engage my audience, but also from the business side, which is like how do I grow the relationships and the revenue of my business to make sure that this is sustainable. And it's the things and the tools that are being built, they are a part of that future, which is you're going to be engaging your audience kind of a lot of you start from social and then you move on to other platforms and own platforms, and I think that's a very important transition. So the one message that I would share with everybody would be to start thinking about every inbound engagement as an opportunity to interact. You don't have to try and convert right away, but if people feel seen, if people feel like they're being responded to, they're much more likely to buy from you once they're ready and once you have a great offer kind of that fits kind of their needs. So this was the theme of the IG Summit, seizing every opportunity, and I think that that is the pathway that people should be thinking about kind of throughout the next year. Cancer, I also have a few, I see like a few questions in the Q&A, and some of them are really blitz, and I can answer them really quickly to provide kind of folks with some clarity. So, do you guys have a LinkedIn solution? The answer is no, because there is actually no creator APIs. There's only APIs for businesses, and anybody who's like, I know that there's like some gray hat kind of reverse engineered solution for automation of personal messages on LinkedIn. That is actually not allowed by the platform right now, and we're very explicit about partnering with platforms, directly making sure that accounts are not at risk of like being banned because they're using something that is not approved by the platform. So we're going to be talking with LinkedIn and making sure that they're going to be opening up their APIs later on. As soon as they do, we're going to be the first platform to integrate. You can count on that. In terms of TikTok integration, actually, we did launch US recently, and UK should be also coming soon if it's not already. So I'm not sure if you guys have checked it recently or like a few months ago. If you checked a few months ago, it might have been still closed, but it might be open now. Common trigger for TikTok. It's coming soon, but it is on their side. So the way we approach this, and this is one of the things that kind of we're really proud of, is whenever something new launches on the platforms that matter, we're usually the first platform to implement it because this is our bread and butter. This is a question of like our focus and our and we kind of like you can see kind of the follow to DM and just the comment to DM back on Instagram kind of launched in 2021. So right now, common trigger for TikTok is actually available in APAC. But if you're outside of APAC, so then they're still kind of figuring this out, and hopefully the test is going to go kind of really well, and then we're going to have it launched globally. Um, all right. There's other questions, but I feel like what's the best way to have a better engagement rate? Well, responding to all the inbound. And but then also it all starts with great content. So if you don't have engagement, like if you don't have great content, then automation can only multiply those efforts. So you have to start with great content. That's the foundation. So make sure you're not skipping the steps. Um, does the welcome DM to new followers work also if they DM me first? Well, every time there is if they follow you, that's an event, that's an entry point, and the follow to DM will work right away. Even if they don't follow you, if they DM you, that is also an entry point. And we have what's called a default reply. So you can actually automate either as a specific keywords or specific topics that are recognized by AI, or you can also have a catch-all default reply, which basically responds to every inbound DM. And so take a look at the default reply for that specific use case. All right, I've answered probably like five more really quickly, but we do have to give it over to Gannon. So,
Thank you. And are there some like technical questions? I can go back to them later, so no worries. Thank you so much, Mike. As we said, Mike's full speech will be available on Manychat YouTube. Feel free to check it out. And if you have any more questions, drop them in the community and we'll be happy to help you. Thanks again. All right, so I'll share my screen quickly. Sorry about that. So, you might have seen this quote somewhere. This is, people need to trust you before they spend time with you. I just recently stole this from Gannon's latest Instagram post. But I feel this really closely relates to what he will talk about, what we have talked about already. And it's the cornerstone of building relationships. And as Mike said just recently, like it really depends what your content is. And if your content is aiming to build trust, it has like elements to make connections, then it might amplify that. So I will not be the person to share my tactics for that. I'll hand it over to Gannon.
Just
Thank you
saw
so
Mike's
much
comment in
again
the
for
chat.
being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This quote was actually from a post that I made about the test run of the follow to DM. And my first test was like, well, I'm running a workshop about how to use Manychat. What if I just send every new follower to this workshop? And the attendance rate for that group was like 10%. So like probably need to spend more time with you before they spend 2 hours with you. So yeah, that was my breakdown. I I commend Mike. Number one, thank you, Mike. I know you have to run, but thank you for inviting me to do this with you. I commend anybody who is able to use slides for a presentation, because I am like, my brain cannot follow a simple structure from 1 to 5 and memorize a presentation. So me, I have a pencil and a tablet, and I will share my screen and kind of hopefully break down my entire Manychat setup in less than 10 minutes as the light behind me dies. Kansu, was there anything that you wanted to say before I jump
Please
in?
take it over. And
Okay.
thank you so much, Mike. I
Yes,
just
thank you,
love
Mike.
you.
I
Cool.
want a replay, so I want to see what Gannon has to share.
I'll get amazing. Cool. So I start this by asking 2 questions. And so the first question I want to ask people, on a scale of 1 to 5, how comfortable and confident are you in using Manychat? You can just type it in the chat. 4s and 5s already off the bat. 2 out of 5, 3, 4, 5. Cool. 1s and 2s. 6. All right. 6 is definitely up there. Brand new. 4. Shout out to Paul. Cool. So that's question number 1. I'm going to assume most people here are between like 2 and 3. So hopefully at the end of this 10 minutes and the 10-minute Q&A, you will be close to a 5. Second question I want to ask you is, who sells anything on Instagram? Digital product, course, coaching, anything that somebody can pay you money for. Most people. Off IG. Cool. So the reason I asked that question is because there are 2 really important ways that you can use Manychat. So we all see this line here, this grid, X and Y axis. Thumbs up, anybody? Perfect. Thank you, Gabe. Cool. So there's 2 ways. And what I'm going to show you is basically how I run my entire business and what I do for clients who also sell digital products and like services and in-person experiences and things like that through Instagram. But this will also work even if you have nothing to sell yet, but you do want to sell something in the future. So I want you to picture yourself starving after, I don't know, an 8-hour road trip, and you finally sit down at this restaurant and you're just so stressed out and you have no idea what you want. And the waiter hands you this menu with 500 items on it. So picture yourself sitting in like, maybe it's like a New Jersey diner or like a New York diner or something like that, where they make everything in the world. When you sit there and you can't figure out what you want, the most logical thing to do is to then ask the waiter what they recommend. Now, what the waiter's going to do, and somebody gave me this response before, and they was like, "That's a smart ass answer." They're like, the waiter's going to push the specials, and they're going to be like, "Whatever we want to get rid of, we're going to tell you what to order." But a good waiter would actually ask you, "What do you enjoy?" They're not just going to be like, "Hey, we have X, Y, and Z," and recommend you seafood if you don't like seafood. They would first ask you, "What do you like?" So, what does this have to do with Manychat and the garlic parm fries for sure? So when I think about Manychat and the clients that I work with, they typically have a few different products and a few different price points, right? They have obviously a free thing. They might have a $99 thing. They might have a $999 thing, or they might have a $9,999 thing. So this could be like a mini course. This could be a cohort / live course. This could be, I'm going to write DFY, service, done for you service. And then this is the lead magnet. We can just call this maybe like a template with a video that they promote through their Instagram. How many of us, or if you have allergies, correct, how many of us promote all of these different things through our Instagram? We're like, hey, I have a done for you service that you can pay me 10 grand for. Or I have this cohort, and that's the only thing I'm going to promote on my Instagram. Well, when we think about this and we compare it to the diner, this is the menu. You have a menu. You don't have 500 different dishes that you can recommend to somebody, but you have 4 things. Now, your audience is the person sitting at the desk, like they're in an office, right? They're at a table with their friends for dinner. This is the waiter, and this is you. So in this case, you at the restaurant are your audience. And your audience is the person sitting down at the table at the restaurant, and you are the waiter. So when I think about the customer journey, quote unquote, like how do we get somebody to then buy one of our products? And I say that like, how do we make money? But it's also, how do we suggest the right product to the right audience at the right time? It comes down to asking a question. It's literally all you have to do. So when I'm promoting any product, like I have a $97 template pack. I have $899 cohort, and then I do like anywhere between like $2,500 to like $15,000 setups. The only thing you will ever see me promote on Instagram is this. If I scroll up, I'm going to change the color so we can see this. All I'm promoting is this. Free to, I'm going to write LT for low ticket. Okay. I don't promote this, and I don't promote this, because I know that when I'm thinking about Instagram and short form content specifically, and by the way, this is mainly for Instagram, it's very hard for me to get somebody to spend $1,000, and it's almost impossible for me to just send a link to a $10,000 checkout page and get somebody to buy. It's just not how it works. So in my organic content, all I do is promote this. And in the DMs, I promote this. So how do we get there? Let's go back to the waiter question, right? The waiter asks, what do you like? So for the free thing, and Kazu, let me know if we can send out a free template to everybody on this call, because I do want to like show them the technical side of this.
Of course.
After this. Okay.
We can share it in the follow-up email.
Cool. So what I'm doing is, as soon as somebody comments or just kind of like raises their hand and says, I want this free thing, I ask them what they want to do with this free thing. What are they hoping to achieve? So for me, it's a Manychat template, right? Once somebody downloads this Manychat template, I ask them, what are you hoping to achieve with Manychat in the next 12 months? And if you dial in this question and you ask a different version of it and just gather this data from what your audience says, there's almost always 1, 2, 3, 4 buckets that you can group people into. So for me, it's this person wants to sell more products. This person wants to get more leads. This person wants to grow their email list, or they just want to learn like the technical skills behind Manychat, right? So I'm just going to write Manychat logo. So depending on what they respond with, this first product that I have, this $99 thing, solves all of these problems, right? They're going to learn how to make more money and sell more products with Manychat. They're going to learn how to, what did I say this one was? I forget. Grow their audience, grow their email list, learn more technical skills with Manychat. I forget what I said the second one was. It's in the automation. But when we ask this question, you can do it in a few ways. So you can do this as a multiple choice question and have people click a button, or You can ask an open-ended question, and this is what I'll send you the actual template for this and the tutorial on how to do it for everybody here. You can actually use AI to analyze their answer and then send them down a different path that pitches this $99 thing. Now, what does this do? Well, number one, it helps you make money. This is not going to turn you into Bill Gates selling a $100 thing on Instagram. There are exceptions to that, right? People definitely make a lot of money from Instagram with low ticket products. I would say that's more of the exception than the norm. But when you sell this thing, you have somebody who has already spent money with you, and they've also spent time with you. And this is super important because, number one, this is building your trust, and you're able to convert. Like, this converts from 0 to 99 for me at around 8% from people who trigger the automation because it's positioned properly. So if I give you an example of that, it's cool. You just downloaded this free template. What is it that you downloaded this template for? Oh, you want to sell more products? Cool. I understand that you're probably confused about like how Manychat works and how you can sell products with it. I think this is the next best step for you to take. No obligation to buy it, obviously, but as a thank you for downloading it, you can get it for $99 instead of $199. And you can do that with voice notes. So without getting too crazy and too technical, I'm going to send you guys a template and tutorial that we use. You can actually send customized voice notes at scale, depending on how this person answers the question. And then you pitch the $99 product to them specifically, depending on how they answered that question. And once you have somebody who has already spent time and money with you, these are the best people to then ask more questions to qualify them as a buyer for the next higher price product or the done for you product. All you have to do, the best salespeople you know, not that I'm a salesperson, I actually hate sales, but the most successful people in like SDR roles, they just ask questions. This is all you have to do. You have to give yourself the ability through an automation to ask questions. And that's it. So when I'm thinking about an Instagram strategy for Manychat, I'm like, well, let me just make something free that is super valuable and then ask somebody why they downloaded it. Like, what problem are you hoping that this solves? And then this is step one in the process of solving all of the problems that you eventually solve with a done-for-you product. But this is going to then identify the people who are ready to take the next step and the next step eventually, as opposed to just having these conversations just live in your DMs and nothing happens. Does that make sense? Thumbs up. Thumb is up. Beautiful.
Yes.
I'm actually afraid to show somebody an automation that we made with how big this spider web is. Okay. I will show you. I won't break down step by step because we don't have much time, but I'm going to give you the template and just kind of explain the first preliminary step of this. Like, how are we going from free thing to $97 thing? So let me see if I can pull up one. Did anybody not yet know you can send like customized voice notes depending on answers? Didn't know that. Interesting. Okay. So this is what I just built for my cohort a couple days ago. This was lesson 3. For a lot of people in here, this actually might not look crazy. Is anyone like, oh my goodness, I've never seen anything like this? Doesn't look that bad, right? It's not terrible. It's so tidy. Okay, let me explain what's happening here. And then we'll do some Q&A because I want to give us some time. I'm going to run through this pretty quickly. So let's just say we're a baker and we have the best banana bread recipe on the face of the earth. And we make a video about this banana bread. We're like, you have to make this banana bread if you're having a party or for like Thanksgiving if you're in the States, right? So we post a video about it and we tell people to comment the word banana. As soon as they comment the word banana, in this case, like I want to explain like another flow trigger right here, but they would first have to click a button to opt into the sequence. But once they do click that button, we collect their name and email. which is happening right here. So these conditions, if you don't use conditions, they basically say if you've already gotten this information from this person and it's mapped to a field in Manychat, don't ask for this information again. So we have that. We collect name and email if we do not already have it, and then we confirm this person's email address. We say, cool, I have your email as this. Is that correct, or do you need to change it? If they say looks good, we then add that person to an email sequence. That when I tell you I can break this down over the course of 3 weeks and I will need 3 weeks to do it, this is true. So I'm going to go fast. So once we have this person added to the email sequence, we send them the actual link to the recipe in the DMs, but they're also added to our email list, and they are tagged as this person downloaded a banana bread recipe. Now, after 2 minutes, I'm going to explain what this condition is right here with this tag, but after 2 minutes, we ask this person, now this has buttons. This has quick replies here. I would suggest doing it with an open-ended text, so you can just ask somebody a question, and whatever response they type in would be mapped to a custom field, and you can have ChatGPT do that for you. And I'm going to send you guys an actual like tutorial on how to do that. I'll send it over to the Manychat team, and they'll send it out to you guys. But depending on what this person says, so we asked the question. Also, I wanted to ask you, so I can send you my best resources. What is your baking experience level? So someone says, I'm just starting out. I bake a little bit, I bake a lot, or I'm a professional. Depending on what button they clicked, it maps that button to a custom field. This sounds very complicated. If you gave me 3 hours with like my grandmother, I could probably teach it to her, and she could teach it to you guys. Once they respond, we add the tag. So this tag just ensures that the next time they download something from us, we're not asking this question again and sending them the same pitch. So you'll notice back here we have this tag. If they already have this tag applied, it means they got the pitch for the next offer. Don't send them any more messages after this. And now we've got conditions. So if these conditions basically say, if this person clicked this button, send them this message. If this person clicked this button, send them this message. If they said they're a professional, send them this message. And if they said they bake a lot, send them this message. Now, in this case, we have maybe a $99 course, right, that we want to pitch, or a $99 cookbook. We can say something along the lines of, and you can record a voice note for this. So you can record an audio note, and I would send that after, I don't know, maybe like 2 minutes, and say, hey, listen, I get you're a beginner. If you're just starting out and you feel like you want to impress your friends, I have an entire cookbook for this. You would say this much more elegantly, but I have an entire cookbook for this. If you want the entire cookbook with some tutorials from me showing you exactly how to do this, I've had thousands of beginners go through it. I will send you a discount to get it. Instead of $197, you can get it for $97. Obviously, there's no obligation to buy it. You know, you're going to have a ton of fun with this recipe, but most people take this next step to get to the next level and to impress their friends. And you can say something like, you know, much more elegant than that. That was off the cuff. But you can do that for every single iteration of what this button does. You have a different pitch for each person, but they go through the same product at the end. And that's how we use voice notes. So it looks like this. Now, the only thing I'll say before Q&A is that buttons do tend to look a little bit robotic in a way. If you can, I know Tim had a question I mentioned. I think your name was Tim. I'm so sorry if I forgot. But you can use open-ended questions. And instead of these, you can map this to text, get rid of these buttons, and then once they respond, the action on reply would be ChatGPT make request. And you can say to the chat, we just asked this person this question, and then they responded with this. And when I do this in front of the camera, these are brackets because their response is going to be in these brackets. Based off of their response, I want you to group them into one of 4 categories: beginner, casual, they bake a lot, or they're a professional. And then you map the ChatGPT output to a custom field. That is my Manychat spiel. Because I don't want to make you guys more confused than you may already be with Manychat, but it goes much deeper than what you probably do.
But there is a really good reaction over on the chat. I don't know if you
I
were
love it.
like catch all of it, but yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
it's
love.
much more helpful. Like when I don't know if I made a YouTube video about it, but I'm going to send you the actual workshop that we did for this, so everyone gets the template and then the tutorial with it.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to Q&A then. I know we are in the like last 10 minutes of our
Yeah,
session.
no worries.
So actually one of the repeating questions was I think around like when to collect the email or
Yeah.
or like where to collect the email, because if you send the asset in like Manychat, people might give like the fake
Yeah.
email. How do you work with this situation?
Yeah, so I've actually I've A/B tested this with a landing page that I've done. So I've run landing pages through Stan opt-ins, I've done Kajabi, I've done Typeforms. The conversion rate's different for every single platform, but I would say the best that we've gotten is from like custom landing pages in like Kajabi and Stan. Those convert around like 55%, which is good. So like if you generate 1,000 clicks to a landing page, you're going to get 550 leads, which is great. With ManyChat, it converts at like 77 to 80%, and they're identical quality. So we measure quality by like email churn rate after 6 to 12 months. So like if this person unsubscribed, they probably weren't a good fit for this. The email like reports and the health that we track from like client emails and even my email list is like the unsubscribe rate is about industry average, which I don't really know. It's like less than like 0.2 to like 0.1%. Very minimal. So the lead quality is identical and you're getting more from collecting that information in the DMs.
There was, thank you. There was also a lot of like, oh, I didn't notice when you said the for the voice notes, like audio messages.
Yeah,
There's one question about that. Is the open
sure.
rate or response rate of voice notes higher than text?
So normally when we send a voice note, we also send a text version of it too, because some people might not listen to it. Um, when I send voice notes to people, even if it's just like they just bought something from me and I send a voice note if they've interacted with my account within 24 hours, like that 24-hour window is still open. If I just send a voice note and I'm like, "Hey, I just noticed you bought my template pack. Just want to say thank you. If you have any questions, just let me know. Like I'm here to help you out." It's automated. Like it's totally automated. But people are much more responsive to it in those scenarios, and they love because I think nobody knows how to really do it. Like it's just totally different, and nobody's putting in the effort, even if they do know how to do it. So you're giving people a more like personal experience at scale with you, and they're much more accepting of like quote unquote automated messages that way.
Nice, thank you. There was one question if you make this for every Instagram post, this kind of automation, or maybe the question in reverse is like, in which cases you would build more elaborate automations?
Yeah, so if I'm doing a launch like of a cohort or of a new product, I typically will spend a few hours making an automation because I would want to have those voice notes and that segmentation. Now the reason for that is because excuse me. The reason for that is that when you ask the voice notes, you ask questions in voice notes and then they respond, you can map that data to a field in whatever like email platform you're using and then send more customized messages through email. So like even if it's just, hey, you mentioned on Instagram you have this problem, we think this product would be the next best thing. You can do it that way, or you can do it through like a newsletter. So it's like, P.S. You mentioned on Instagram at the end of the newsletter, it's like, P.S. You mentioned you have this problem. This is the next best step for you to take. But if you're asking like how many out of what percentage of posts that I run ManyChat on, it's probably like 80%. But
Yeah,
I don't really have like, it sounds crazy. I really don't have an Instagram strategy. I post like whatever I want. And if I just want to promote something, I just promote the free thing and just let it all happen in the background. Like my audience has their own marketing world. Like you don't even know when I'm launching something unless you're on like my email list or you're engaging with things in the DMs or you see my stories.
nice. Maybe one question from also on my end. Um, I know we're like about to like approach towards the end. Can you give everyone here some like small, consistent action they can start doing like today, this week,
Yeah.
to build like first, maybe build better automations that will like strengthen their trust, build like their community that will like help build that connection with their audience.
Yeah. So I think no matter what you sell, or even if you don't sell something, you should own an audience away from social. You just like, if you think about email, like I always say, like own your audience through email. You could also argue like podcasting is its own platform because there is no like discovery algorithm for it. So even if you don't sell something, whatever you can do to like just move your audience away from Instagram and own them on a list somewhere so you can have this interaction. You think about the past, like, I'm only 27, but if you think about the past like 30 to 35 years, it's like email has really not changed at all. Like nothing has changed about email. Besides like algorithms and like spam filters and things like that. But you're able to like, there's no other platform with media that allows you to just send a message and 50% of your audience reads it and sees it. It's like on Instagram, it's like less than 3% of your audience in most cases. So if you're going to do anything this week, just set up an automation that builds an email list and just have some sort of like opt-in. Like, why would somebody sign up for this? And it can just give them a small win. If you think about like your eventual customer journey where you want to have this product that does this X, Y, and Z thing, just give them a really enticing reason to join the email list and just like make it over the top, like, oh my God, I should have paid for this thing. And why did she give this out for free? Just make that and then just start building an email list. And once you have something to sell, you can, just reach out to that list and be like, hey, I'm thinking about building something. What should I build? Like, I want you guys to help me build this. And yeah, I would just do that. That template that we send out will help you build the email list.
All right. Thank you. I love like a good rapid fire last two questions
Sure.
round if you are ready for it.
Yeah.
I know like you've been giving some advice to everyone here from your experience. I want to ask you, what is maybe the worst advice you have seen in the start of your journey for Manychat and like building your audience through like using Manychat?
From a like business worst advice with Manychat. It's a good question. I think when people use Manychat, they don't really know what they're working people towards. And I would say if there's anything that you should not do, is build a business that somebody else thinks that you should build. Like, don't use Manychat because somebody told you should use Manychat and just doesn't feel like the right thing to do for your audience. I think a lot of us get caught up in like seeing what works for other people, and then we end up building a business that we resent. And you might look up 2 years from now after building this thing, you're like, I actually don't like this, like what I'm building. I can't really tell you like with Manychat specifically, like I don't think I've ever gotten like bad advice. There's just things that haven't really applied to my business. But for anybody, like I'm assuming that we're using this to make money and make a living. But you always want to figure out like, is the thing that I'm building something that fuels me and excites me, or am I just building this because somebody said it was a good idea? You always want to follow your gut. It sounds cliche, but like life is too short to build something you resent, especially when you spend all this time on it. So yeah, it's very philosophical, but hopefully that makes sense.
Okay, Dan, maybe one sentence best advice to start building your community. What would be like the best advice you've seen or want to give to people to continue?
Just give everything you know away for free and expect people to copy it. But if you show people that your way of thinking, like you have years and years and years of experience that have shaped your way of thinking, people vibe with that. And once you give everything away for free and show you're a person, it just makes everything a lot easier because people will want to work with you as opposed to somebody else, even though somebody else copied your entire business.
Great. I can sign under this. And I think we can all feel that as well. Like when someone is not authentic and someone is coming from like maybe like fake or like to ChatGPT place and not putting actually their own authenticity in it. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Gannon, for your time. We really enjoyed listening and hearing Have you used Manychat? Your advice. One thing I want to leave everyone with is we are giving away 1 month free access to Manychat Pro and Manychat AI if you want to try what Mike was slightly talking about in the product updates. And if you want to also fully use the templates that Gannon will share, I think this would make a little bit more easier your life. So here it is.
I will send you. I'll send you guys. Well, I'll send it over to the Manychat team by tonight, and then hopefully, whenever we send out the replay, we'll have that over to you as well.
Right.
But
so
my Instagram, I'll put it in the chat. I don't know if people saw that, but it's just my first name dot last name, and all of my resources on there. You can learn a lot just by scrolling.
I agree, by the way, I did. And there is a lot of free resources, as you just mentioned. Like, thank you for giving a lot for free. And
Absolutely.
also, we want to say if you missed the IGSM Summit, please use the code if you want to rewatch all the sessions. We are offering 60% off. It's available for 10 more days. All right, I'll stop sharing. I know we're 1 minute over time, but thank you all for being here. Thank you, Gannon, so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thanks
you
for having me.
sharing all your experience with everyone here. And do you have any other like last words to share?
My last words are: is the code FAM60?
FAM60 for if you want to purchase the Summit replays.
Cool. I'll put that in chat. FAM60 Summit replays, and then I'm assuming we'll send out the QR code too. But people are asking for the QR code one more time.
Yeah, we will be sending
plug
all
it.
of these with email. No worries, everyone. You will have all the links. FAM60 goes here to this link.
Amazing. Yeah, nothing else from me, but I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for all tuning in to watch me draw on a whiteboard for a half hour. I love doing this, and any other questions, I'm an open book, so shoot me a DM. I'll probably respond with a voice note to you.
Amazing.
Crazy.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Have a nice
Thanks,
day,
everybody.
evening, everyone. And looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.
Cheers, guys. See ya.